Good morning or afternoon. It is 12:01, so I'm right on time. It is exactly afternoon. I haven't done a video in a while, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and because I dressed up like Azula today, we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. My hair isn't that great, but I've tried. I'm not a professional cosplayer at all, so bear with me here. I was watching Avatar: Last Airbender videos for, just nostalgia, because I'm a huge Avatar: Last Airbender fan. And when I was watching these videos, I thought more and more about, why does Azula have blue flames for fire when yet every other firebender is red, orange, or yellow? And so I started to do a little bit of research, and it says on the Avatar Wikipedia, it says that she was able to produce a blue flame which are more intense. Intense is like another word for her flames are hotter. Blue flames are typically hotter than orange, red, yellow flames, but on occasion, and if the properties are right, is hotter than white flames, right? So then that kind of makes me wonder, how does Azula able to emit blue flames? Well, there's two theories to that, which one of them is she can magically create a chemical reaction throughout her body and then emits it through her palms. Or two, she is simply able to create hotter flames than the rest of the firebenders, and thus living up to her legacy of being a prodigy at a firebending thing. If that makes sense. I'm a little hyper, sorry. So that's why we're going to be talking about how Azula, how does she do this? We're going to have to take a little bit of a step back here. So we know that the hottest part of a flame is at the base, right? And that when it fans out, the parts are typically less hot. The fanned out parts of the flame are orange, red, the typical flame color, but then when it gets to the base, it gets a lighter color, like a lighter white or red, or sometimes in a blowtorch case, a blue. Well, that's all I know about flames so far. Now let's just apply this to Azula, alright? We know this from a lot of her fight sequences. She always uses two of her fingers to emit her fire upon other people, upon her opponents, right? And so this is where I think she's a genius, because when she uses her two fingers, she's actually closing the space of how fire gets out of her body. And because of that, it creates not only a slightly, if not hotter, flame than the rest of the firebenders, it also emits a great amount of precision on her part. Because if you also notice in her fight sequences, when she's like pew pew to other people, right? It comes out as a thin, like, blue line, and it emits up into like a big red puff of smoke. So that's why I think she resembles a blowtorch, because a blowtorch, when you first put it on, it's kind of like a thicker flame, and then it's like blue, and then it goes like sort of a reddish color, and then when you turn the valve, the hole gets smaller, and then the flame gets smaller, but it also gets hotter, and it gets more precise, and it gets like, it's just easier to use, and it also gets more blue. So that's why I think she's a genius for using this technique in her fire bending skills, which is also probably why she's such a prodigy at it, right? Correct. Now, there's some contradicting things that I found through this, and that's one of them is she also uses her fist and just her palms when she emits fire, because when she's using like her little jet flame things, her palms are straight out, and so if her palms are straight out, how is that supposed to make the flames hotter and therefore a bluish color? Well, the thing is, she might not even actually be emitting blue fire. She could, if anything, it could be more like the ability to know the formula for creating blue fire. Kind of almost like a chemical reaction, but in a deeper, non-logical sense. So I was searching up on the Google, like, how do you create blue flames, and it's just saying like hydrocarbon such, like butane and propane, they emit blue. I don't know if that's because they're hot or if it's because of chemical reaction within like the propane canisters and all that. So I'm not a great scientist. I have little to no facts about anything about flames and, you know, chemistry stuff. So I'm just gonna leave that aside and assume that she can't emit this chemical reaction in her body because it'd probably be next to physically impossible to do so. Is that it's her emotions, her willpower, and her meditation that's probably helping her create these blue flames. Let's get a little bit deeper into cartoon logic here, alright? We know from season 3 Zuko that when he was training with Aang, he lost his ability to produce fire because of various reasons. One is being that he lost his will, he lost his drive, he lost his anger because he became more kindness and more understanding that his father is an evil man and that Aang is actually right for trying to stop him. And we also know 3 is that he's not in search of his honor anymore, like not as hardcore as he used to be, so got that going for him. And so like that's why I think that Azula's power is not emitted through chemical reaction. It's not emitted because she can simply produce hotter flames. I think it's more through emotions and meditation. Because firebenders also use a lot of meditation in order to produce their fire. So like breathing meditation, like getting to know the body, and stuff like that, right? And so I think because of the masters that she had and because of her perfectionism that she has and because of the father that she is tied to, she has this ability to produce her own formula of blue flames through emotion and meditation because she is a perfectionist, she is a sadistic, a narcissist, I think that's what it's called, and you know, she's psychotic, and so she's angry and she hates everyone and she's selfish, and so she just only thinks basically of herself. And that's why I think the more you get to know yourself, the more you could do with yourself, thus the blue flames. And with her emotions, that kind of just ties more into it, and so she's able to create her own unique self. She wants to be like, you know what, I'm gonna create my own blue flame, and so she does. So that concludes kind of the video of how does Azula emit blue flames and why she does. I think I'm done. I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked my hair. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I haven't slept actually all night. And that's probably why I'm doing this, because I only ever do these type of things when I lack sleep. And that's also probably why my speech is a little bit off, slow, and like everywhere. So yeah, thanks. I kind of like Azula, you know, with all like she's done to everyone, especially to the gang, especially to Zuko. You have to admire her for her dedication and for her just unique abilities, and she's so damn vicious. She's like one of the greatest villains on the TV show ever. And in my personal opinion, probably ever shown on a screen. I never actually realized until just 3 years ago, like maybe 2 years after the series was finished, is that Azula is actually the younger sibling. Zuko is not 18 as I thought, he's actually 16, and Azula, who I thought was 16, is actually 14.